You ever have a taste for something, and even though you had other things that were really good and were comparable to it, you still had that one taste that you couldn't get out of your head? Well,
Cream soda.
thank you, Lisa. That's my wonderful wife. Bringing me my cream soda.
That's the taste you like.
Yes, it is. Goes well with cigars. Anyway, what I was getting to is the other day, I wanted a Joya Red in Toro. And I really didn't have time to smoke the whole Joya Red. I guess I could have put it out, cut it off, relit the next day. But you know, even if you do that right, it's still not the same as smoking the whole thing in one sitting. So I had Robustos, I had Cigarillos, but still, I had a taste for this guy in my head. So I tell you what, today, it was supposed to be stormy and nasty all day, but it turned out to be a nice day. I'm going to sit here on my front porch and have my Joya Red. It's, when I've had them before, it's like a, kind of like a sweet cream type of flavor off of it. Kind of a florally hayish type scent. Getting just a touch of manure in there. And living in West Virginia, having farms around us, I know what manure smells like. Anyway, it's got a nice brown wrapper. Smooth. I'm gonna go ahead and cut it and get this thing lit. Anyway, what I'm planning on talking about today is tourists. But let me get this guy lit first. Using my my triple torch lighter, my Vector triple torch lighter. There we go. A little bit breezy today. So it's got my torch dancing around a bit. Just because it's a torch doesn't mean it has a lot of resistance to wind, because it doesn't. What it is the three torches come together and they form a kind of a soft flame at the tip, which gives you there we go. An excellent flame for toasting a cigar. A nice slow toast. Oh, it is going. There we go. You know that some people that say you should purge a cigar right after you light it? There comes somebody speeding through town. Actually, I think it's our neighbor.
Meow. Meow.
That's my wife with our kitty cat at the door.
Found one. Don't know where the other two went.
I don't know.
Better know how to pull
Okay.
it out.
Still has that flavor I'm familiar with, that sweet cream. It's smooth. It's mild to medium. A little bit more on the mild side right now. But on the retrohale, you get a little bit of cinnamon. Not a lot. Just a nice, smooth cigar. Anyway, I'll be back in a little bit. Let me check the time. It is 10:04. We'll see how long this guy lasts. Why not? It's been about half an hour, and you can see the burn line there. Now the burn line did get it was way off on one side by about half an inch or so, and instead of touching up, I just left it alone to see what it would do, and as you can see, it's self-corrected. So it's burning pretty good, still keeping that slight creamy sweetness. I'm getting a little bit of vanilla on it. Lots of smoke and a good solid ash. Well, it's a little bit flaky where the burn line was off and it's self-corrected, but I don't care about that. Anyway, what I wanted to talk about today was, well, we live in a beautiful area out here in the mountains of West Virginia, and the reason we moved out here was because, well, we would come out here. We were tourists out here. We had a campground, a seasonal campsite, and we would drive out from the big city on a weekend and spend the weekend out here in the West Virginia mountains. Really enjoyable. So I can't really blame people for coming out here. You know, at least they're getting out and they're doing something, riding bikes, hiking, camping. They're going out on the river and canoeing, kayaking, fishing, all kind of stuff. Sometimes it's just driving along just to look at the mountains and the woods. So really can't blame them. They're bringing money into the local economy. That's a good thing too. Miss me. But they're also speeding through town, and in a way that helps the town's economy because the local sheriff makes a lot of money writing tickets because of people speeding through town. It's a small town and it's easy to pass through quickly because, you know, basically if you blink, you're on the other side of town. But these are our local roads. We've lived out here for about 20 years. I still don't take the scenery for granted, but if I'm driving somewhere and I want to get somewhere and Mr. Tourist is driving along 30-40 miles an hour, I go, ooh, it gets a bit annoying. I understand it's beautiful out, but I don't know. To get somewhere, everything is basically a road trip. 30, 40, sometimes 70 miles to go to Walmart. A local Walmart is about a 70-mile out-of-state round trip. So, you know, and that's local. To get to the Y, I think it's like between 60 and 65 miles down and back. So, you know, when you're going somewhere and somebody's poking along, or another thing they do is this drives me nuts. You drive along behind them and they'll speed up, slow down, speed up, slow down. They'll slow down to like 40, speed up to 60, 65, slow down around 40, or they'll accelerate up a hill and then ride their brakes all the way down. It's their car, you want to wreck your brakes, you want to burn them up, fine. But living out here, you learn to not do that because you do. You wreck your brakes. You go through a lot of brakes that way. So you, and that's another thing about living out here. I drive these roads often, and I know the roads, and I know that I can anticipate that there's going to be a long downhill. So I let the features of the road speed me up or slow me down as necessary. For the most part, though, I keep a regular, same speed. There's not many places to pass people. There are some straight stretches where you can pass them. So that's kind of dangerous. And that's another thing that people do. They come out here on the other side of the spectrum. You've got people that come out here and they want to play on the roads. And they drive like Like they ain't got no sense at all. They'll pass on hills, they'll pass on blind curves, and that scares me more than anything else. Because what's going to happen? What's going to happen? You come around a corner, it's a blind curve, you go to pass somebody, and there's a truck. And there are accidents out here. We've had to sit long lines of traffic and get detours around where people have had pretty darn bad accidents. You've seen cars rolled over and all kinds of stuff. And the Virginia drivers are really the ones that are bad at tailgating. I guess that's what they do, you know, that's how they drive. But anyway, I didn't want this to turn into a rant about tourist drivers. So I'll leave it there, and I'll get back to the cigar. As you can see, the ash just dropped off, and it missed me. But I'm going to continue to smoke this thing, and we'll see how far it goes. About an hour in, I was about to take the band off, but I thought I'd show y'all this. First of all, let's see how solid that ash is, and if I can tap it off or not. There's a spider web over there. I didn't even know it. Anyway. Another thing I like about this cigar is a lot of cigar companies, in fact most of them, they have the band on it, but it's like they know you're going to have to take the band off if you want to smoke the whole thing. And they make it, at times, very difficult to get the band off of it. With this one, it basically has like a little pull tab. Let's see if I got that on there. Yeah. So, you get your fingernail up under there. See that? I think you can see that. There you go. You just pop it up, and the band just peels right off. No glue on the wrapper, no nothing. It's excellent. The construction, that burn line is just as straight as could be, and it's still got wonderful flavor. It says here, rediscover Joya. Joya cigars, and it has, I think that's Facebook. I don't know what all these symbols mean because I don't do that type of media. But it has Facebook, Twitter, and I don't know what the other one is. And at the bottom it says www.joyacigars.com. Rediscover Joya. Let me show you that. Anyway, we still got that smooth, creamy texture and taste, but it's picked up a bit of woodiness. Not a heavy wood. It's still a nice, smooth, creamy smoke. Lots of it. But it's more like, I guess more like a cedar with just a little bit of spice on the finish. I haven't had to touch it up at all. It's just been burning nicely. I'm just sitting here enjoying the day's weather. And another thing about tourists. One thing is, I'm not rude to them. My wife and I, we're not rude to tourists. Like, if we're on a trail somewhere and they ask us how far it's going to go, or if we're in a parking lot and somebody comes over and they greets us and they ask which way to town, is there food nearby, is there gas nearby, we're happy to help them and wish them you know, have a good day, enjoy the weather. It's beautiful out here. And it is. Now you see like families with kids enjoying the weather. We get the Boy Scouts out here. There's a large campground nearby. Boy Scouts come out there and they'll camp for a day, maybe two. It's just it's very nice. And I can't blame them. Anyway, I'm going to keep smoking on this thing, and we'll see how far I get. All right, we're at about an hour and 40 minutes. Starting to get a bit too warm for my taste, but it burned evenly all the way down. Very good cigar. I might just have to get myself some more of these. Anyway, we'll see y'all next time.